Never leak it or show it. Gotta pull your own weight. If you reap it, you sow it. Come here with a poet. Gotta plant it and grow it. Drop that artificial food. Come and eat with a poet.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Elena the Poet, and we're back at it with another episode of Eat with the Poet. We are downtown Fort Lauderdale at Smitty's Wings. Shout out to Miss Helen. Shout out to Chris Smith. Shout out to the chef in the back for chefing it up. Listen, we're talking about COVID-19 and the many variants. We are talking about the vaccine, the mask, Florida, it not being fully mandated here. And today my panel is full. I got some amazing queens in the building. All right, and they are going to sit with me. We're going to sit around the table. We're going to eat. I'm going to let them tell you what they got going on, who they are, where you can find them, and we're going to get right into it. Y'all stay tuned. Eat with the phone. Hey guys, it's your girl Elena the Poet, and by now you've heard of my show Eat with the Poet. It is deep conversations with South Florida's known unknown gem. You guys need to go to YouTube, go to Elena Poet, subscribe, hit the like, and drop a comment. Watch a few shows. But listen, we on a journey. And we doing this together. Subscribe.
Pay attention to Elena and her podcast.
So let me ask you guys a question because, I mean, we can't see the future. Only God can. Mm-hmm. But anybody can jump on this. How do you see the future from this point? Like in the next year or two. Let's just do the immediate future. What do you guys predict the immediate future to be, given that COVID is doing its thing and we're out here doing what we do?
That's a big question. You're talking about education, you're talking about what it's going to do.
I'm just saying, in general, when you think about it, because right now we're narrowed down to education. But overall, in general, it's a very real thing that we all are facing and dealing with, making decisions, taking vaccines for, living our lives and stuff like that. Today is August of 2021. What have you, or is this something you guys have thought about, or we just, have you thought about what you think maybe it'll be in the next year or two?
Actually, I think we may come back around and be in a better place. Actually, last year this time, I didn't think that we would be where we are now. Okay. Honestly, I didn't. I did not. Okay. So I think it's going to come around. I think it was a blessing. Some of COVID, a lot of blessings came out of COVID.
Right. I agree.
A lot of blessings came out of COVID, but I am concerned as I look into the realm of the educational piece. Some of our kids aren't being educated because that first year that we had virtual, I think we're gonna see the effects of some of those kids that weren't educated. I think that's gonna come back around for us again. Yeah. It was an era of kids that lost that educational piece, and it's just unfortunate. I feel that we're going to see that again, like the effects of that, the negative effects of that.
Definitely. And the gap is going to widen, which was the goal from above us, which was the goal in the first place. Mm-hmm. You've got a lot of grandparent loss, who were the people that were standing in the gap for parents who already couldn't fill in the gap.
Yes, absolutely.
They're passing. Yeah. Now, I knew two of the educators that passed from Broward. We're all the same age. Okay, so now you've got some immediate children that are missing them. Mm-hmm. Okay, every time you take a generation out of our community, we get lost. Remember the 80s? I'm a 70s baby, so I was in high school in the 80s when crack got real.
Yes.
So then I came back and taught the crack babies.
Yes.
Without their parents being there because they were lost to crack. Mm-hmm. Now we come back, we start to climb up, and then COVID hits. Right. Then we start losing generation pieces again. Yes. And we're repeating a cycle. And this time, it's not us, but there are fail-safes that we could take, that we could come together as community and make those stands if we would. Mm-hmm. I feel that because America is fighting about 50 million different divisions. Mm-hmm. Instead of me saying, sometimes you just gotta say, my sister, my Muslim sister, my Buddha sister, my whatever, my black sister, who I share this community with.
Right.
What is the common goal for our businesses and our children to thrive? If we don't decide to do that, I don't know what will happen.
Right. Wow.
This is the place where we decide that we are a community, regardless of religion, schools. I mean, we were just jesting because, you know, this is my star right here. And her sister, she my sister, but she ain't my sister, right? But I promise you, if Moreland calls me tomorrow and asks me to do anything for creative writing or anything for English, I'll be over at Moreland because that's benefiting us.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Now, COVID for me got me back to us. I did more community-based things because I had time, because I had time to meditate, because I had time to remember that my family, like, what is this
That's the
hamster
blessing.
wheel
That's the
I was
blessing.
on? I didn't even realize I was on it until God set us all down and was like, oh, everybody would go sit and meditate these days.
Right. Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
So now we got to ask ourselves, what you thinking about while you sitting home thinking?
Right.
Right.
Okay.
What you thinking about while you sitting home thinking?
Yeah. I like that.
I think COVID, it definitely slowed me down. I'm a person that I'm always on 100.
She everywhere.
My parents are always telling me about it. I'm always on 100. So it definitely, I love church. I love going to church. I love giving back to my community. And I think just having that time to just digest and sit back and just get a different perspective is what I saw from COVID.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
I remember my sister talking about for some years how she wanted to open a school and saw how she saw the many injustices that was happening to our black and brown babies in the school. She and my sister Kathy as well. And she kept saying she wanted to open a school. And when I open a school, I'm going to be respectful to teachers. I'm going to honor them. I'm going to show them they're appreciated.
She gonna be
I'm
making
going to
people quit.
pay them a nice salary.
Yeah.
I'm going to give them, you know, nice gifts for Christmas to let them know I appreciate you. I'm grateful you're here. So she continued to talk about this dream for some years. So she began to put some things in place, and then COVID came. So she said, I don't know, maybe we should stop, you know, maybe my mom said, if God put you here at this time, you're going to move forward and he's going to make a way. We didn't have the money.
He blew
because
our mind.
a lot of our things were held up. We didn't have the money. When we started off, we didn't have all the equipment we needed. We didn't have all the staff we needed. We had the credentials because most of us, thank God, have gone to college. So we knew that we all could teach something. My sister had retired from the city of Pompano. My other sister had retired from Bragg Sheriff's Office. I retired from the city of Lauderhill. My other sister's a nurse. She's been retired for a while. My other sister worked in insurance for many years. She's been retired for a while. So we had a wealth of knowledge, but just putting it together during COVID was really taxing.
A dream and no budget.
It was a dream with zero budget. And so she says, no, we're still going to move forward. And so we did. And each time we said, Lord, how are we going to pay payroll? I say, well, it's your time to go beg mom and daddy for the money because we was too embarrassed to keep asking them. And the Lord always made a way. We went without, but we made sure our teachers was always compensated and that our kids had the best. People saw and believed in Miss Moreland's dream, and people saw us doing devotion or live on Facebook, and a young lady said, I believe in what you're doing. You guys have prayer in the school, and she donated $500.
And
that
just
went
took
a
off
long
from
way.
there.
So people begin to donate, begin to bring things. I want to sow into what you all are doing. And it's not that we're so great, but we believe in giving back just as my parents gave back and people before them gave back and our ancestors gave back. We have an obligation. Even in the midst of this storm, we yet have an obligation to our babies so that they can look after us when, at my age, when we get older. I'm already consider myself older, but that's what happened. And so we're trying to help Miss Moreland fulfill this dream in the midst of COVID. The Bible says trials and tribulations shall come. So we know they're going to come. We don't get to choose them. So I believe he's still here in the midst of us. Dealing with the COVID, I saw your oil. Yes, we lay oil, we pray, we cast out spirits.
It's on all my shoulders.
We do all that at Moreland Academy. So I think that's why my sister wanted to open a private school opposed to a charter school, so that
Because
we don't
when you
have
open a charter school, a lot of people don't know when you open a charter school, that public district still gets to control. And I'm gonna tell you what really made me know it's time to open a school. So when COVID first hit, we would meet virtually, our staff with the school board, and I work in the equity department. And we would meet, we would meet every week or whatever. And there's like, any concerns? I was like, we got kids that don't have internet access, and they be like, oh, it's free. And I'm like, no, it's not free. So after doing that a couple weeks, I was like, you know what? Why go tell your problem to a person that you know can't solve it? I said, you know what? They won't let me sit at the table to solve it, so we're gonna pop up our own table. And that's that's when the Lord was like, just do it, you just go, and I provide the resources. And I'm gonna tell you, I would go and meet with people, and you thought I had $1 million. I had $1 million of faith and spirit, but I didn't have it in my bank, and God just brought it together. And it's so funny now, people come to me and like, can you share the grant that you had? I said, we didn't have a grant, baby. The only grant I had was faith.
Not one
And God he blew our minds. Somebody came to us and gave us an offer, and just the amount that it was like, whatever you need. And it just blew our mind, because I'm thinking, sometimes I'm thinking like this, and God had it like you're thinking too small.
Here they're talking about, that ain't nothing, they so cute.
Right.
That's what they want.
That little
That ain't even
school.
what I planned to give y'all, but
Yes.
go ahead.
It was that last
school.
that last time when I said, okay, we owe everybody in Pompano, where are we supposed to get this next payroll amount from? And the Lord sent, I would say she was an angel. And when she came 2 weeks later, I promise you, we had $200,000.
Things that were held up.
She was an angel.
He sent
the angel at the right time. We didn't know
went
where
to
it was coming
somebody that we had money, and it was just tied up in the atmosphere. But when we talked to that person, it was released.
It was released. And so it's those things when we see the parents coming.
You was obedient.
Yes.
You was obedient.
Yes.
So some of my other sisters was like, I don't know if I want to do this, because I just can't step out there not knowing like where I'm gonna get it from. And I've always been that person. I'll just take a chance, and if it doesn't work, guess what? It doesn't work.
Because guess what? The earth is the Lord.
Yes.
Yes,
The
fullness
fullness
thereof.
Yes.
And they that dwell therein, it's all here.
Yes.
And he
That's
I tell
proved that
people
to
that all
us.
the time. Okay, I'm gonna go talk to God about it, because the earth is the Lord.
Yes.
Okay, and you is the Lord.
we had one parent. She said she had driven. Her kid had been in. Her two children had been in several schools, and she just was really disappointed with the school system, and she didn't know where to go. And someone referred her to us. And although they moved, so they're not there this year, she said, I will drive from, I don't care where I have to drive to. She said, I've never seen my kids this happy. She said they get in the car singing songs that they've learned during devotion. She said they know how to pray. And she was just saying that these things were possible because I brought my children here under prayer and under faith and under this covering. When they leave, we're still praying for them. In the afternoon, we're praying for them. My sister laying hands on every doorknob. So when you come in there, the devil know he can't stay, because he can't dwell there. Sometimes my sister, it's like one day the kids was just, everybody was just having a bad day. My sister, everything stopped. Just stop. Stop where you are. Everybody put your hands up, and we're getting ready to pray. We're casting this spirit out of here. You can't stay here, because there's too much work to be done, and our babies have too much at risk. There's too many doctors and ministers and teachers in here in this room, and we're not going to let you cease this progress. They had already had a difficult time being at home that year. The school board, this is when you're not in touch with your audience. They weren't in touch with their audience, unfortunately, and they didn't realize some of our babies didn't even have power. So you want me to worry about free Wi-Fi? I don't even have any lights. I'm borrowing lights from the neighbors. So you're worried about a computer? I don't have anything to plug it into. I don't have Wi-Fi. Some of our kids go from home to home this week, next week a new home. So they took that for granted, that these children could stay home and basically teach themselves. Although we have some amazing teacher, it was just a challenging time for everybody, and our babies suffered.
Right.
And so now we're playing catch up, and we're okay to play that catch up because we know God can do it.
And you know, that's what's important, what you say when you say devotion and praying, because, you know, we know that you're a woman of God, but every child in those public schools is not going to get that prayer. No. They're not going to get that devotion. They're not going to get that real source that they'll really need to make it through, or that is going to sustain them and maintain them throughout the day, or even cover them from this virus. So it's a blessing, because I know you are imparting. You don't have a choice. You can't help yourself. But it's a
praise God, and I'm still employed. Amen. Those who know. Yeah, and I'm still employed. Yeah.
Right. But you know what you do is important for the children's souls.
Yes.
It's
Absolutely.
important for their souls. It goes to me beyond education. It's about, you know, that thing that's going to activate in them when it's necessary to activate it. So I am so honored and blessed that I need to get my baby over there. I don't want to really promote it too much because I don't want too many people to be there.
Listen, let me say this. For the educators who are still going to be in the public system, because that is, remember now, they were at the top of the food chain, so now they've retired from that. What I want my generation of educators to realize is it's time for us to be elders now.
Yes.
Right.
I don't think enough of, you might get some heat for this statement, I don't think enough of my group is receiving that. As the older set retires and goes on to whatever, we're still here in the trenches.
Right.
So now we are that teacher, that one that all the kids respect.
Right.
Yes.
We are that teacher, well, you know, if she pull you in the office, da-da-da-da. Now that has to be us.
Right.
There isn't anybody else for us to send them to.
Correct.
We're the one they're gonna send them to.
Yes.
Right.
And we have some great teachers
that's,
still working
you know,
in
and that's the
Broward
thing.
and
We
Dade
gotta-
and Palm Beach County. We have some great teachers.
That's what hurts us sometimes, because we have amazing teachers like yourself that are, as you stated, still in the trenches. Before I left law enforcement, one thing I tried to pride myself on is making sure we had more African American males and females that were ready to move up the ranks, because we need more people like yourself. We need, our people are very creative, and sometimes people don't know how to deal with that creativeness, and they try to box us in.
Right.
You cannot box us in. So we look at that creativeness. I use my son for an example. When he was little, he attended Mount Bethel Christian Academy, and during that time, he loved to drum. Anybody knows my son, he loves to drum, and he would drum all day. So what his teacher did, she was very creative. In between changing from subject to subject, we're gonna learn English now. Before they went to math, she let him play a little something on the table. And okay, it's time for math, and he could beat on the desk with the drums. And just that little bit of creativeness allowed him to stay focused during the day. It made it exciting for him to learn. And so sometimes my sorrow over here, she may not have that opportunity all the time to do those things, but there's still things where, even with her being a creative poet, there's still things she can pour into our children, and they need that. They just need somebody to hone in to see that creativity that so many of them possess, but it gets stifled with behavior. Sometimes it comes out behavior.
Sometimes what people see as misbehavior, it's leadership in our kids. You just have to shape it. It's not always a misbehavior, but some people, and I think sometimes when they don't understand our culture, they think it's a misbehavior, but I don't call it misbehavior. You have to just shape that leadership. And I'm sure
that is everything. Because I'm at a choice school. So it used to be, you know, say choice school, more white, and it's not now. But one of my big problems is a lot of sisters and brothers put their children in these schools and don't follow up as tightly because they don't understand culture. Sometimes what one teacher may say is, I think he's defiant.
Right.
Why don't you send him down to my room for a few minutes? Let me talk to him.
Right.
Because that's not what I see.
Yes.
Because I also see that there are 8 other little boys that keep following him, which means he's the leader.
Right.
Yes.
So now we need to I got to reshape in his mind how he sees it.
Right.
You do understand you have the power, right?
Right.
Yes.
You do understand all this power God gave you. You think God gave you that power to be around here? You're supposed to be running countries. You're supposed to be running.
Yes, and it starts that young.
You know, I even when I used my very first job was at Sunland Park.
Oh, I know.
But back when Sunland Park was Sunland Park.
I'm familiar.
Okay. I had some of the most brilliant children. They were runners and every other thing. One of them ran into me recently, and he goes, I know you don't remember me because I don't look nothing like I used to look. But he now owns his own insurance firm. He was every stereotype. Mom was on drugs. Dad was big drug dealer. And what I kept telling the other teachers was, though, because he could do math in his mind, because there was math, maybe not positive math, but there was math all around. And my thing was, they wanted to put him on this track for this program, and I said no. I said because the most brilliant drug dealer ever is a mathematician or a banker who didn't have the avenue to get to school.
Right.
We're not gonna do this. We have to advocate for those of us that find ourselves in those schools where we're the minority, because there were like 8 of us on my campus. 8 teachers out of 80.
Wow.
At your current school that
Real
look like
quick.
you.
8 teachers out of 80. And for years I tried to get, and you know, I didn't realize I was bumping my head against God until maybe 2 or 3 years ago. I wanted to get back to Dillard. I wanted to get back to any school where it could be all of me, right? All of my culture. And then it dawned on me, but if you leave this school,
They need you.
who's gonna watch out
Our babies here.
for the kids that are here?
Right.
Yes.
They need you.
And on that note, we're going to wrap up this session, but real quick, I need to go around the table and I just need each of you ladies to leave with the watchers what you want them to know or anything you want to give to them that is that final seed that you want to put into the ground. Karen, go.
Okay, I want you to know that, to let you and yourself or your children to know that if you have a dream, get faith behind it, and all things are possible.
That's it.
All things.
Tundra, go.
As relates to our babies, we need parents to help us. We saw a lot of dads out the other night at our parent orientation. We need dad, grandmothers, big sisters. We need you to help us. We're in these trying times that none of us have ever seen before.
Yes.
So everybody has to put in a little bit more effort. So we need that from the parents so that these babies can be successful and make them proud.
Yes, yes. Katrina, go.
I'm gonna say, you know, they say put faith behind it. I'm gonna say put grace behind it. Your dream, how many years? 33 years?
Yes.
It may not be tomorrow.
Yes.
But you
Yes.
gotta give yourself grace,
Yes.
but keep chugging. If
Yes.
you give grace to yourself and know that all of this stuff is a gift and keep chugging, you will get there.
Yes.
And that means grace for you and your children.
Yes.
They may not be A students today. They may never be A students.
Right.
But for all we know, they're the next owner of the next restaurant. They're our next plumber with a chain.
Yes.
Or our next caterer.
That's it.
That's who they may be. But you gotta give that grace.
That's it. That's
Awesome.
it. And to the credit of the show, be safe.
Yes.
Be clean, wear your mask.
Yes.
Wash
If
your
you're going
hands.
vaccine. If you're not, be safe. Love on somebody, y'all. Make sure you subscribe to Elena Poet on YouTube. Hit the like on that. And we'll be back with y'all. Eat with the Poet. Mwah.
Peace to all the queens. What's up out there? We live. Tapping in.
I need everybody to tap in.
Cool people.
Everybody to tap in.
Eat with a poet.
Subscribe.
Never leak it or show it.
Shout out
Gotta
to
pull
Elena.
your own weight. If you reap it, you sow it. Come here with a poet. Gotta plant it and grow it. Drop that artificial food. Come and eat with a poet. Kicking words with the poets, I get lyrical.
Yeah.
Physical is great, my journey now is spiritual. Peace to the queens in the nation and foreign. I would like to introduce you to Elena the poet. Stay down in the jungle like some bare feet. Now when we toast, ace of spade, no more bare feet. Poking beans, Dane County, yeah, I'm still hood. Spread love, feed the homeless cause it feel good. Now pay attention, this is knowledge of wealth. Throw the school books away, this is knowledge of self. Quiet is kept, listen, this the Revolution broadcast. Now pay attention to Elena and her podcast. Never leak it and show it. Gotta pull your own weight if you reap it, you sow it. Yeah, gotta plant it and grow it. Drop that artificial food, come and eat with a poet. Come eat with a poet.
Shout out to Elena the Poet.
Cool people.
See, I need everybody to tap in, subscribe.
Real love.
You know what I'm talking about?
Uh.
Black Power.